The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Continuous Integration with PHP LAMP. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Shashikant Bangera, Senior Consultant at Capgemini India. Shashikant Bangera is working for Capgemini India as a Senior Consultant. He has 12 plus years of experience in web domain. He has architected, managed and developed multiple web development projects. He has hands-on experience across multiple technologies and processes, and they are LAMP, that is Linux, Apache, MySQL and PHP stack, SharePoint, .NET, and continuous integration for Java and PHP. He has worked as one of the core members for the CI implementation for multi-million pound projects for UK government. Some of the core CI tools which he has expertise on are Hudson, Jenkins, Rational Team Concerts, Subversion, Jira, Confluence, Maven, ANT, FishEye, and many reporting tools. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker, Mr. Shashikant Bangera. Over to you, Mr. Bangera.
Very good morning, good evening to everybody. I understand that there were more than 240 people who have attended the session. So I would like to thank all of them for joining the session, and I would like to thank Garima and TechGig for considering me for this presentation. So,
Mr. Shashikant, can you please show your screen?
Hello.
Hello? Hello? Can you please show your screen?
Yeah, one sec. Now it's showing the screen?
No, it's not visible.
How about now?
No, not yet. There's a show my screen button on the top. You can show.
Yeah, actually I've clicked it. It shows the screen.
But it is not visible to us. Could you please click on stop showing screen and then again click on show your screen?
Yeah, I did that.
Still I cannot see your screen.
I don't know what is the problem.
It is still not visible to us. I'm not able to figure out what is the problem.
I just said play. Now can you see the screen?
No, it is not visible.
Not even now?
No, not now.
God.
Could you please check your net connection?
Yeah, if I can talk to you, the net connection is really good.
No, there are sometimes there are issues with the screen as well. Sometimes the voice comes, but due to some connectivity issues, the screen is not shared.
How about now?
No, not yet. Let me just make you the presenter again and then you can show your screen. Alright?
Okay.
Does it ask you to show your screen? Is there a pop-up?
Not yet. No.
Please try clicking on show my screen again.
I did that.
Still there is no screen.
I don't know what's the problem. Is it still the same problem? Actually, there was one pop-up which came in like show my screen, but all of a sudden that disappeared. I don't know why.
Okay.
But when I clicked on the show my screen, it's not showing up.
So I'm making you the presenter again, and when that pop-up comes up, you just click on that pop-up.
Okay.
Did that pop-up come?
No.
Was there a notification that you made the
Hello?
presenter?
No.
There was no notification as well.
No.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, one sec. Mail you. Okay. It is... okay, fine. But it is too heavy actually. The presentation is really heavy. I am not sure whether I'll be able to mail you. It is flash presentation, 44 MB. Yeah. Should we just disconnect and reconnect again once just to see? Yeah, okay. Damn it. presenter. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I clicked on show my screen. Hello.
Hello? Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Great.
So you can
Hello.
start. Yeah, you can start with the presentation now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm very sorry for this, the delays which has been caused. So just to let's start with the presentation. The whole presentation is of 1 hour, and I'll give you last 15 minutes for questions. And thanks again for people who have joined little late. So this presentation is completely designed in Prezi, and this is the flowchart of our presentation, which shows you how the continuous integration flows. So which has a development team here, and source code check-in, source code repository, polling, and continuous integration server, and emailing results. We're going to drill down into each of them one by one. Just to start with, what is continuous integration? What is continuous integration? So continuous integration is applying quality control in a smaller way. So what is basically happens is, suppose you have a team of 100 developers working offshore, onshore, on different places. So every developer works and says it's working on my machine, but when somebody takes a check-in from some other person, he says it's not working on my machine. To mitigate all these issues, there is a process called continuous integration was introduced. The name itself says continuous integration. So you have to continuously integrate into a one software package. So it's always getting you putting a small effort and improve the quality of the software or a package or a website or whatever you make. So this is what the continuous integration is. So what are the benefits of continuous integration? These are some benefits, which is automated build. So whenever you check in into a source code management, that is your source code area, the automatic build is triggered into your continuous integration server, and it builds whatever you have committed. And if there is a build failure, it notifies you that the build has failed. The developer has to commit every day. Like suppose if developer does not commit after 10 days and 15 days, then he's not in sync with the team. So the most important point of continuous integration is like you have to commit every day. Every commits of the build converts into integrates into the builds on the integration machine. So you have a continuous integration machine where all the codes from different developers comes in and gets integrated, builds in and integrated into one package. See, and third is everyone can see what is happening. So every stakeholder from your team sees what is happening in the whole project. So actually continuous integration goes hand in hand with agile process. So this is basically you have to know agile, you have to have an agile with continuous integration. Then automated deployment. Now the benefit of CI is basically you can, once the package is created, you can deploy it into different environments like system tests, SIT, and prod and pre-prod. So this package is whole package which has less errors, less issues, and goes into different better environments. So this is the development team. So what do you? This is a simple development team which you have. which has a QA manager and developer. So like I said, we need to have an agile knowledge of an agile process when you're doing a continuous integration. So let's go into development with the developers. So development with PHP. Now considering continuous integration, what we should have, which ideally we had for PHP projects, was developer will have a virtual machine which is same mapped as with the servers which is there on the which is used for continuous integration, or which is used for production, which is used for any kind of development. This is advantageous because your environment is quite sync with the environments which is there on the other side. Then you use different IDEs which is there on your virtual machine, that is Eclipse or either EditPlus or Dreamweaver, to do your coding. Then build tools which are Jenkins and Cruise Control. These are two important build tools which has been used widely for continuous integration in Java, even for PHP projects and Java projects. Then other tools which is Confluence, Jira and FishEye. These are actually paid tools which is available by Astelon. These tools are basic. Confluence is used for is same as a wiki, wherein you can document document everything about your project. So it's a very handy way you can get the documentation. Jira is basically you manage your task. If suppose you're using a Scrum in your projects, so you manage Scrum master, Scrum task in the Jira. FishEye is basically a tool where you if suppose you have a code reviewer sitting in your team, and he can review your code and send the comments on the FishEye. So these are the paid tools. These three tools are paid tools which is available on the market for doing a proper deployments. So source code check-in. So once the developer builds the code, he has to check in the code into a source code. So what tools does he use for doing that? So he can use either TortoiseSVN, TortoiseGIT or Eclipse. So Git is again a source code area where he can check in the code. SVN is subversion, which we know, which we'll go in detail going further. So next step is source code repository. So source code repository is basically where your source is kept and different versions are maintained. So the multiple source repositories are which ideally been used in open source is Subversion and Git. Git has been quite popular these days due to its robust and availability. Coming back to from source code, now it is continuous integration server, where basically what does developer do is he builds and deploys, he runs the code analysis, he runs the automated test, he runs the report results, see the report of the results, what is happening, he compiles and builds the product. So let's go into deep into each of them. So CI tools, what we're using, as I discussed, CI tools, we have Cruise Control, which is Java-based tool. Again, these are two tools which is there in continuous integration tool. Both are Java-based, and Cruise Control, Jenkins. But my personal favorite is Jenkins because it has a very good user interface, very easy to manage, wherein Cruise Control is good with PHP because there is one more application build tool which has been used, PHP control, which can be used with the Cruise Control. But unfortunately, I've never got a chance to use this, but I'm more familiar with Jenkins. Jenkins is a tool which can be installed on your Linux, your Linux machine, Windows machine, and you can have multiple slaves on it. You can create different slaves and manage it properly. It has 300 plus plugins and all kind for doing any kind of software development, right from Java to PHP or C++ or even .NET, if suppose you want to. So this is how the Jenkins looks. This I got it captured from one of my old projects. So this is how it looks, basically, where you can have different tabs. You can have slaves over here, which I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I could not show it here. So different tabs, and this is how easily it could be managed. And you can edit the view, you can create different views for you. So compile and build products. Let's go into this. So how do you build or create in Jenkins? How do you build your development code? Once the code is checked in into SVN, how do you do it? So Jenkins has a user interface where you can create a job, which jobs which pulls the data from SVN or from Git, can execute the build through ant or Phing commands. So what is, now let me explain what is ant. Ant is basically a Java-based tool, Apache tool, which is used for automating the building process. Now I have put ant as well as Phing. Why Phing? Phing is more native to PHP, but it is again a Apache tool which mostly works on ant, but Phing is more native to PHP. So once you create a job and then you run and it builds. So we can go in detail on this in the further presentation. So this is how you create a job on Jenkins. So you can see how simple it is. You create a project name, you create a description of this thing, then you create a project where your source code details are, plus many more things which is there. If you look at the right side, these are the menus which you get it on Jenkins. So it is so user friendly it is, and again Jenkins is a very it's an open source tool basically. So our next step is to do a build and install, build or deploy. So this is basically is a thumb rule, or you can say the best practices which we used for the project in PHP. So the different types of builds which we created for the projects was, one was integration build and one was module wise build. So let me just get into what is integration build. So what integration build is basically, if it defined as a build that occurs periodically to test that all the code can be linked together. So in layman's terms, so there are 10 developers developing a code and it gets integrated into one area, and once the integration build is divided. Module wise build is basically a small team is working on small modules, and that small module is tested on the area, or the tested as in the code analysis runs on those things. So these are the two different types of build types which is done for doing this. Let me just, this is, sorry, this. Okay, now this is the screen where you can see integration builds. These are the integration builds which can be differentiated on the basis of different projects. Like suppose you have 10 projects working in your 10 projects for one client. So you can create 10 different integration builds with different multiple slaves for one slave attached to the one project. So these are the different integration builds which can be added, and then once this integration builds, which shows you the color, the red color is failed and green color is the build is passed. So once this build is green, what it does is internally it creates a package which can be again deployed into the other servers, like your system test for tester to test, or system integration test SIT, or then further goes on pre-prod. So this is the integration build which actually comes from other builds. Once the other builds are built, basically a module wise build. If suppose, get this is a module wise build which has been done. So this module, once all this module wise build goes green, then the integration build actually triggers, and which improves the quality. Now how does it improve the quality? Let's go in detail with that. So this is a running the code analysis. So what is running code analysis? Running code analysis is like checking if suppose developer has not followed a coding standards, or he's doing something wrong with the code, writing wrong for loops and etc. So there are some ready-made tools which is available to do all this checkings. So these are some code analysis tool which is called checklist, checkstyle, sorry, then PHP MD, code coverage, PHP depend, and PHP code paste detector. So I'll be going through this each of them. I'll be going in detail for first three, which is more important for me. So this is a check style warning. Basically, what is check style? Check style, as it defines, is a static code analysis tool used in software development for checking if the PHP source code compiles with the coding rules. So basically what it does, it checks whether your developer is following the coding rule. So this is basically a for in PHP what we use is PHP code sniffer, which gets you the check style report. Code sniffer is a tool which is part of peer. Actually, when you install with the peer, you can install the code sniffer, and it gets you a check style report for you, like how whether you have what mistake you have done in the code, whether you have not followed the check style or something. So this is how you integrate it with the Jenkins. This is the code which is this is the way you integrate it into Jenkins. So this is how the check style report looks like. So if you look at this is a check style trend, and this is a check style report results. The warning trends, the details, the warnings, the normal and low, and all those details which is there for the check style result. Now these results are visible to all the users, right from all the stakeholders, like maybe for your client, or maybe for higher authorities who can look into this. So our next tool is PHP MD. So what is PHP MD? PHP MD is basically a PHP mess detector. So what it does basically is detects the problem which is there in the code, say possibly a bug, a suboptimal code, overcomplicated expression, unused parentheses and methods and properties. Basically whatever mess you create in the code, that is checked. Basically it checks overcomplicated expressions, like you have written a for loop which is overcomplicated. So you can this is PHP MD which does the checking for that. So this is basically a PHP MD report which shows you how it's done. So if you look at this is a file name which is there, and this shows you the problem on the line number 20, and avoid really long methods, or for that matter avoid excessive long variables in the code. Then address book has a cyclometric complexity of 22. So this shows me all the complexity which is there on the in the code, and these reports are available to all the users. So all the users. Next is our code coverage. So I hope everybody can see the screen very well. What is code coverage? Basically code coverage is, if suppose you're using PHP unit as a unit testing for your unit testing tool for doing unit testing your code. So code coverage is basically, it measures how much unit tests you have written against your code. If suppose it gives you a percentage, basically if suppose you have a class where you have written 5 functions. So for that 5 functions, if you have written 3 or 2 unit tests, then these functions, the code coverage will tell you that you have covered only 55% of your coverage. So you have to complete at least 70 to 80% coverage ideally. So it gives you the report basically for that particular code, how much you've covered, how much unit tests you've covered. Now for PHP code coverage, we are using two open source technologies, two open source unit testing tools. One is simple test, and other is PHP unit. Simple test is basically mostly used in Drupal based projects, so which is very famous in Drupal. If suppose anybody is using Drupal, then they must have come across simple test. PHP unit is basically used in all the all the other PHP projects. Like it is same as what you know in Java, which is JUnit, and in .NET NUnit. Now PHP unit has it can be used, it can be checked in other tools, available tools wherein other than Jenkins. So let me just go into the report which shows you how it looks like. So this is a simple test coverage report. Simple test coverage report. So this will show you the complete coverage, percentage of coverage which has been done. Percentage of coverage which has been done, and this is the report for individual file. If suppose this is one file which is an INC or a PHP file, it shows that it is covered only 101%, or in this case if it is module.inc, that shows just 53% covered. So this will give your team leads an idea, basically, or a team leads an idea like how much unit test has been written for that particular code, and make sure that more and more unit test is written, which will make the code better and which will mitigate the problems and integration issues. So the next is PHP depend and PHP copy paste detector. Basically PHP depends, it gives you a report of what is depending stuff, and then PHP copy paste detector, basically if you're copy pasted the code from somewhere else, and if there are errors and repetitive code, it shows you the report. I'm not going into detail of that. So that is what we cover in the run code analysis of the presentation. Now run the automated test. Now what is automated test? Basically suppose, like I said, the PHP unit is the test, simple test is the test. So it gives you basically a report which shows you that you have covered this much of test for that particular for particular code, and you have it is very different from the coverage, but it gives you how much of your test is passed, how much of your test is failed. If suppose you have written 5 functions, and for that 5 function, 3 unit tests you have written, but in later stage you change that function, but you forgot to change the unit test. So when you run this analysis, run the automated test on that, the unit test fails because you've not changed the unit test doing the testing unit test as per the new code. So this is the report which gives you unit testing. So I've just picked up PHP unit and simple test for the unit testing, which is widely used in PHP projects. So what PHP unit is basically, it is automated unit testing framework like JUnit and NUnit, which I have described. So this is the command which has been has been used to doing unit testing, and which gives you a report. If you look at target name unit test, run the unit test, and it generates the report which is junit.xml and clove.xml. Now clove.xml is used can be used in Jenkins to report the unit test failures. There is one more which has been which I told you was a simple test. Simple test is an again open source which has been used widely used for Drupal based projects. Now you'll ask me which is better in this, PHP unit or a simple test. Now if you ask me that, then PHP unit is better because it is widely used and it supports many tools, many Windows tools in it. Simple test is good, but it is more native to Drupal basically. Let's go further with this. So this shows you the test results this shows you the test results, how the test result, how it would looks. Now if suppose you look at this count, like if it is green, then you have covered most of the test, or all the test is passed. If it is red, then the test is failed. So this gives you the report which is there. This basically this report is in Jenkins, which is shows you how much test you have covered, how much methods you have covered. And this gives you age, like how much age you've this come up with. So this is what we done with the automated run the automated test. I am just running through this very fast because of the time constraint. We have already lost some time in early. That's why I'm not describing. I'm not going into detail of all of them. So this is how the continuous integration server is all about. So like I said, there are many continuous integration server like Cruise Control and Hudson. Hudson, there is TFS for .NET, and there is Jenkins. So now Hudson and Jenkins is one and the same, and Cruise Control is a different thing. I would, if suppose I compare all of these for open source, I would go with Jenkins, because Jenkins is more better tool for continuous integration with any kind of development, or with PHP, and you get lots of blogs which will tell you how to do the continuous integration with Jenkins and using PHP. Going back to CI server email results. Now whenever a build fails, basically build fails or anything happens, or if there is an issue with the integration, there is an email notification or any kind of notification which is sent to a developer as well as the team lead. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Shashikant. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're audible. You're completely audible.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So this gives you a notification like what is email notification which to your stakeholders, to the team leads, or to the managers, that this build is broken and this person is broken. Suppose you can integrate it in Jenkins, or Jenkins saying that this team is working on this module and this team has broken the builds. So this is the CI notifications which can be configured on this. So this notification can be of multiple types. Email notification, then you can have a lamp which can be put it on your areas, or a simple Firefox notification which is available, which can be which is integrated with Jenkins. So you can customize your email notification as per your need. Suppose you want to write your own text, you can customize it on your basis. So this is what we cover with the CI email results. And I am through with the continuous integration flow, like how it takes with PHP and how it works. So I'll push this on to questions. If suppose anybody have any questions, then they can come to me or ask questions. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Shashikant.
Yeah, actually I can't see the question.
Yes, people are still sending in questions.
Okay. There is one question which is from Mr. Sanjeev Mukherjee. He's saying, do we need to use any software for automation? This is an open-ended question, but I'm not sure what he's asking. The software is basically, if we are using for Jenkins, is basically a software for doing automated software automated. Okay, Jenkins is the tool where you can do all these configurations, create jobs. You can configure all these things like PHP, MD, and all these things within Jenkins you can create. And once the job is created, when you run the job, it further goes into this thing. I have explained this argument in length. Ramesh Mantha has asked that if suppose I can give you an example. Now, unfortunately, in this presentation, it was just a presentation on continuous integration for PHP. I can't give you hands-on or something like that, but I'll share my email address with you, where you can where you can give me a mail with your questions, and then I can send you the blogs or everything. And there are lots of blogs available wherein you can go in details with things. This is just just to give you an idea how we can have a continuous integration with PHP. Argument line. How to how you helpful. There's one more question which is Gopal Gupta has been asked, like, continuous integration flow is helpful for whom? It is helpful. Flow basically is flow which has been explained, like how the continuous integration works. As a continuous integration is helpful for all the stakeholders, your client, where he knows what is happening, how much code is developed, and what where he has where and what is happening with the project. Like if you look, like I said, we have to use Agile. For Agile is go hand in hand with continuous integration. If you go into other models other than Agile, which is a waterfall model, where user doesn't know what is happening, and at the end of the project he starts seeing the product. But in case of Agile, you start seeing the project right at the start, like what is happening, whether this page is created, that page is created. That's why that is the benefit what we have in continuous integration. There's one more question from Apurva Singh asking, unit testing in PHP we can use case tools. Case tool, yes. Case tool. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the case tool. Whether we can use it or not. There is one more question from Syed Kadri. How is continuous integration helpful in developing projects? Basically, like I said, it is helpful in mitigating errors, removing all the errors, mitigating errors and integration issues right at the start. It irons out all the errors, most of the errors and most of the integration problems. Like suppose, like I said, there are 10 developers working on one product, and end of the day, when you're integrating that product, it doesn't come anything, it doesn't look good, it doesn't work, the functionality doesn't work. So to mitigate all that, you can you have a continuous integration in this. Can we integrate Jenkins with a clear case? Yes, this is a very good question. Yes, of course we can. There is a plugin which is available to integrate it with a clear case. Yes, we can do that. What is the difference between simple test? Yes, there is one more question from Abhishek saying that can we use NetBeans ID? Of course, it's we can use NetBeans ID for development, but I have mostly used Eclipse and PHP, sorry, EditPlus or Dreamweaver for doing this. So of course, you can use NetBeans ID as well. There's one question: what is the difference between simple test and PHP unit? PHP, there is no difference as such. They both are unit testing tools basically, but simple test has its own way of doing things, and unit test is its own way of doing things. But in the end, it is the same tool which is doing for writing codes for unit testing. There's one more question from Akash, which is Jenkins handling all the repository like deleted files or integrated files? Yes, in Jenkins you can maintain the file system, you can keep the packages, which even Jenkins you can set up a build after build. Suppose there is one build and you want on once that build is complete, you want to run a subsequent build, you can set this up as well on Jenkins. There is one question from Karunakar saying how meaningful would it be to have a continuous integration environment without proper automated unit testing? Unit testing is always better. It is very good to have in continuous integration, but if you feel to have unit testing, if you can't do unit testing or you have problems with unit testing, but you can integrate PHP MDs or code detector and all other stuff which other than unit testing, which could be useful. I mean, ultimately it iron out the problems which is there on the development. There's one question from Mr. Parul Jain. He's asking, he is asking, my question is, can we implement continuous integration for Java-based application or is it for specific for PHP? Continuous integration, Jenkins, like I said, Jenkins has 300 plus plugins which can be used for Java as well as PHP as well as .NET based projects. So any kind of projects can be, it's better to have a continuous integration, can be integrated into Jenkins. There's one question from Raman Kumar Dunda. Is Jenkins similar to Zen tools, or there are any differences, or is it similar that we can have a continuous integration using Zen tools? Zen tools is different, which is prone towards Zen. Basically, Jenkins is basically an open source tool. I'm not sure if Zen is an open source tool. I think you have to pay for Zen. But Jenkins is an open source tool which is very different from Zen. Zen basically is a architecture or a area where you do all the PHP deployment, where you can integrate the continuous integration as well. There's one question from Abhishek saying, is any problem regarding the version of PHP? I don't think there is any problem with version of PHP. You can run continuous integration with any version of PHP which is possible. The next question is Jenkins built in same like tagging in SVN? This is a very good question, Dhananjay. It is not basically tagging in SVN. Jenkins builds are basically building your code. Like suppose in case of Java, what you do is you compile the code and then the compiled code is sent into for testing. In case of PHP, what you do is basically you create a tar or create a package, and on that package this automated code analysis runs, simple testing and all those things happens. So that is what the second question is like Ant and Phing support build deployment for .NET apps as well. We have UI development in Ant, sorry, Ant and Phing is more prone, towards Java, more native to Java and PHP. Ant is more native to Java basically. Ant and Maven, there's one more tool which is Maven, which is called Maven, is more native to Java. We can use Ant for doing .NET apps as well, but again you have to use some add-on to it which is available in Ant. Is it possible? Is this process helpful for mobile application development? Mobile application development, I'm sorry, I'm little not sure what whether we can use this for mobile application development or not. But if it is Java, then it might be. I've never got into that anytime. I think I've answered most of the questions in this, but I am open for more questions. If you want, you can see my email address which is there on the screen. You're free to mail me your queries, your concerns, and everything. I'll be very happy to answer you back. Thank you very much for joining this session, and I hope everybody liked this session, and I'll be glad to come up with more sessions on such things.
Thanks, Mr. Bangera, for your session on continuous integration with PHP LAMP. It was indeed a great session.
Yeah.
I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of this webinar will be available on techgeek.com by Monday. Thank you all.
Thanks, Garima. Thanks a lot.